The insect world is a horrifyingly brutal one. For most, life is hard, stressful, and short. This is due, in part, to the work of players like the assassin bug. Many bugs that rely on their tough exoskeletons for defense will find that the assassin bug can turn that advantage against them. Using moves known only to spiders, the assassin springs from the shadows to snag its next meal. But it's kill or be killed, and that's the law of the jungle here in Life, Death, and Taxonomy.
Welcome back to Life, Death, and Taxonomy. It's your 30 minutes of interesting animal information. I'm Joe.
And I'm Carlos.
Thank you to Cassie for the creation of our theme song. To hear more of Cassie's music, please search Cassie Michelle on YouTube.
And thank you to Brian for the creation of this week's artwork. So check that out. You can follow us on Facebook or Twitter at LD Taxonomy, or visit us at our home on the web at ldtaxonomy.com.
And today we're talking about a bug that sounds like a Pokemon, but looks like a Dark Souls enemy. So,
It could be Pokemon. I'm surprised there's not a Pokemon based on this. It's very distinct.
There might be something.
There isn't. I've been playing it a lot recently. But yeah, what are we talking about? What sounds like a Pokemon?
We're talking about the wheel bug.
Yes. Well, I wanted to talk about assassin bugs in particular, but the wheel bug has some interesting traits and is very unique looking. But the major fact is going to pertain to assassin bugs, which are an entire family of bugs. But we're going to call it the wheel bug in particular. We're going to call it here the buzzsaw Louie. Just look at it. We're going to call it Beetlejuice.
Okay.
Which will become apparent later. And Flick's Hero, because it's a warrior bug.
Ah.
Warrior bugs.
I like Buzzsaw Louie because it's the reason for the season.
No, the whole point of that was that he's not the reason for this season. Jesus is.
Yeah.
We just saw that. We're trying to see if Mason will take
to VeggieTales.
Yeah, he's still in the I only want to watch things that are constantly singing phase, and VeggieTales doesn't meet the song quota. It usually has like 2 or 3, and it needs constant music to keep him entertained. So maybe in a little bit.
Would you like to know what science has to say?
Yeah, I would actually.
Well, they have to say it's in the kingdom you know, love, and are in the kingdom Animalia. It's in the phylum Arthropoda, which means...
That's not true. And I think that's the second time you've made that mistake.
Arthropoda? Yeah, that's not. There's no such phylum.
It's a foot. It's either a human foot or a foot that looks like a human, which is...
It's an arthropoda, an invertebrate, something with an exoskeletons.
Can you imagine having a foot that looked just like a person, like a little gingerbread man feet? That'd be fun. That's an arthropod right there.
Let's get into the class. The class is Insecta. That is bugs and insects, stuff like that.
Yes, it's not. But bugs.
It's not all bugs.
Yes,
because the order is Hemiptera, which is true bugs.
True bugs. It's the sequel to True Lies.
This wheel bug is a wheel bug.
Good. It's very wheel.
It's in the family Redanian. Just kidding. It's
what?
Reduviidae.
It's like, did I write that wrong, or did I put a subfamily instead? Yeah,
Redanian is Redania. I think it's a Witcher thing.
Oh,
it's a place
like
in
RHOD, like Rodan.
No, that's Star Wars. The Rhodesians.
Is it?
Yeah, Rhodesian is the thing that Han shot.
I thought a Rhodesian was a kind of dog.
That's a...
Rhodesian Ridgeback. That's a dog. I'm sure of it.
Maybe it is. What is the thing that Han shot?
Greedo. He shot a Greedo. I don't know. I don't know species names unless they're mentioned in the movies.
Rhodian, not Rhodesian.
There you
Rhodian.
go. There, a little bit of Star Wars and canine trivia to go with your interesting animal info. I mean, the canine stuff works. It's on brand.
That's the Reduviidae is the largest family in the order. So,
and it is all assassin bugs.
Yeah. And then the subfamily is Harpactorinae. Harpactorinae?
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure.
The tribe, if you like that kind of thing,
I love tribes.
is Harpactorinae. Harpactorinae. We're all tribal nowadays, so everyone likes tribes.
It's true. Tribes is also a fun computer game.
The genus is Aurillus. And the species...
It's a Aurillus wheel bug. Aurillus wheel bug.
In the God of the Vita. Okay. So the species is Cristatus.
Cristatus?
Aurillus cristatus.
Frittata.
Cristatus. Aurillus cristatus. Christmas.
Marcus Aurelius Frittatus.
Yeah.
This is definitely some sort of emperor.
Frittatus.
But since we're in the business of naming things, it's time for my favorite part of the show. Nitty-gritty nomenclature. Because we already know... I mean, it's not a beetle. We already did one for beetles. There just really isn't a collective noun for members of assassin bugs, or really just it's too broad for the entire true bug order for there to be just a collective noun of bugs. So we're going to try to figure out what Aurillus cristatus means.
It means no worries.
For the rest of your days, or just for
Aurillus cristatus?
For some of your days, because I'm gonna be a little bit worried. It's just Timon putting an ancient hex on Simba. Aurillus cristatus. Domino. So, does Aurillus cristatus mean A, crested bug, B, sawblade bug, C, crossed bug, or D, stalking bug?
I hope it's STOCKING.
Oh, if you could just only see the video feed, which you will see if you subscribe to us on Patreon by going to ldtaxonomy.com/Patreon. You'll see my Christmas decorations.
Oh, I have a pillow in the background, what we like to call Druid Santa, because it's a pillow of Santa, and he's covered in like leaves and stuff.
When I'm imagining Druid Santa, I can only picture John Calvin.
It's like it's more like
a very thin, long bearded, funny hat wearing man.
Yeah, he's not as thin. His beard is bushier.
Well, we'll see it in the video. We're trying a new thing where we're recording things separately, so we actually can't see each other in the video. But if you would like to see it, again, so check us out on Patreon. But the reason I say that is because there are two stockings directly behind me.
Well, I'm gonna call this one.
And also, last thing, the word was not stocking as in like a sock. It's
I figured
as in like
predators.
Yes.
I'm going with crossed bug, or whatever it was.
Final answer?
Yes.
Incorrect. I was actually really proud of myself for thinking that one up. The answer was crested.
Yeah, that was the. I should have went with that. Was where my gut was going.
I knew sawblade was an easy one to cross off the list. Stalking was a red herring, and then it was between crested and crossed, and because the word is cristatus, that screams crossed.
Chris taught us to love our neighbors and our enemies.
Man, how did I gotta say it aloud when I'm researching more often to come up with stuff.
Sweet. Would you like to know what it looks like?
I'm sure people and myself are dying to know. I'm not dying. I already know what it looks like, but regale us, please.
It is a bug. We got ourselves an elongated beetle-like body with a proportionally small oblong head. They have a single segmented proboscis. I don't know how to plural or singularize proboscis. I don't know what it is.
Singular. Proboscises is plural.
Is it really?
It is.
Wow.
Because I wrote it down and I got it wrong and I had to find out what the answer was.
They have 6 long, thin legs. They're mostly black and brown, with some white and tan coloration. Sometimes they're like almost all the way tan.
Same. I'm usually all the way tan.
I'm usually all the way translucent. The most notable feature is a saw-like dorsal crest on their thorax.
It looks metal.
It looks like a saw. It looks like a cog.
Yeah, and it's like straight. It looks like a table saw.
Yes.
It looks like it. Yeah, if it would it cut you if you ran your hand over it. And
it doesn't look like a. It doesn't look like a Dark Souls enemy. It looks like a Bloodborne DLC weapon.
He just picked this thing up by its feet and smack werewolves and
there's
witches
the amygdala arm or whatever the heck, so why not?
That's very true. Just like a kind of a calcified version, like a giant calcified
saw
bug, wheel bug. And then, yeah, you just hold it by its proboscis and just smack some wolves around. Why not?
Why not? But let's talk about how big it is. It's quite large. It's the biggest assassin bug, right, in North America.
Mm-hmm.
The largest in its class.
Best in show.
Let's get into the Measure Up segment. Welcome to the beloved Measure Up segment, the official listener's favorite part of the show. The part of the show when we present the animal size and dimensions in relatable terms through a quiz that's fun for the whole family. It's also part of the show that's introduced by you when you send an audio of yourself saying, singing, or chittering the words Measure Up into ldtaxonomy@gmail.com. We don't have a new Measure Up intro.
Daggone.
But that means we get to hear from an animal, and Carlos has to guess what it is.
Bring it on.
Okie dokie. Let me just pull that right up.
I'm going to channel the holiday spirit that's just emanating from this room and get it right.
I'm glad you said that. Okay, here we go. Without further ado, the listener's favorite part of the show.
All right.
Is that A, a French hen? B, a turtle dove? C, a partridge? Or D, a swan?
I'm sensing a theme here. Birds, right?
That song has a bird theme, it seems. There's lots of birds in it. Imagine getting so many birds as a gift.
Yeah, the recipient is actually... This is more like a white elephant thing. If you have a political rival, just give them the 12 days of Christmas worth of birds, and then you'll financially ruin them.
They'll never financially recover from this.
Mm-hmm. They may be able to offset it for a little bit with the 5 golden rings, depending on the price of gold, but that's just kind of like delaying the inevitable. It's more like salt in the wound. There's
also like several. They own now. They're given as a gift. Human beings doing something
forever. Forever.
Yeah.
You like these. You now have 10 drumming slaves. 10 slave drummers.
And also, Lords a Leaping. Get to leaping, noble-blooded people.
Or landlords a leaping.
Landowners, get to jumping. Which one is it?
I'm gonna go with lords a leaping.
Final answer?
Yeah. I mean, that sounded kind of chickenish. I don't know what any of these sound like. Pretty sure swans are like hiss. So
Yeah.
I don't think it's that. A partridge is whatever. I don't know.
Partridge is like a grouse, a ground fowl.
Like a pheasant.
I guess a French hen and a partridge might be very close together.
I don't think it's a turtle dove. So it's probably one of the two. It's either a partridge or a French hen. And it sounded chickenish. So we're going with French hen. Final answer.
That is incorrect.
What? It's a
It's
partridge?
a partridge.
Ah.
Yep. In a pear tree. Actually, it wasn't. It was like in a hole in the ground.
Interesting. Is that where you keep partridges? I dug
This
my
particular
partridge
kind.
hole for the holiday season.
Let's talk length. They're 1.5 inches or 38 millimeters. How many wheel bugs go into the world's tallest Christmas tree?
Is that the one in New York? Like a real Christmas tree?
A real cut Christmas tree.
Oh, okay. So not the
So here's a hint. And when I read this, I had to reconfirm the fact because I did not believe it. The tree was cut and decorated in Seattle in 1950 at the Northgate Shopping Center. We have not made a new Christmas tree any taller in
God hasn't
since
grown a
1950.
Christmas tree any taller than this one.
Well, he might have, but it's in the middle of a forest and it's hard to get to.
It's like in Siberia. Maybe the idea of cutting like a 700-year-old tree down for Christmas is for one Christmas to watch it die.
That's true.
Is no longer palatable.
In the 50s, every resource was unlimited, so we didn't think about that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. We were more concerned with getting those commies.
It was a Douglas fir.
That does not help. I'm gonna go with 150 feet. That seems really tall. But that's like a redwood, I think. Like some of the taller trees. Maybe I gotta go a little bit smaller. I'll go 125. 125. The answer is 1,000. Wheel assassin bugs.
The correct answer is 1,696.
I should have gone with 150. I would have been right.
The tree was 212 feet.
What did I get? Wow, I must have been really off.
Or 64.6 meters.
Oh yeah, I would have. I was. Yeah. Okay, wow. the Father Christmas gave me no extra special powers this time.
If you look up a picture of this, it is a tall, skinny tree.
Sounds like
Who ever heard of a skinny Santa?
eat, Douglas, eat.
Yeah.
From now on, I'm naming all of my Christmas trees Douglas.
It's a good idea. Let's talk egg cluster size.
No, ew, disgusting. Move on.
Well, they don't. Obviously, they're a bug, so they're a few milligrams. Who cares? We know it. We know what a bug weighs. A flight-worthy bug is a handful of milligrams.
There's probably a much greater disparity in bug weight than there is of any other animal.
Just because you're working with smaller increments.
Yeah, well, yeah, because you're working with very, very small things, and then things that are still small but way bigger than the smallest things.
So, their egg clusters can be anywhere from 40 to 200 eggs. Let's go with the upper end of average, 200. How many wheelbug egg clusters go into the largest collection of dinosaur eggs in the world? Here's a hint. The largest collection of dinosaur eggs is located in the Haiyuan Museum in China. The collection includes eggs from oviraptors and duck-billed dinosaurs.
So ducky.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, if you had asked me, I probably would. If you had asked me how many eggs are in the world's largest collection of dinosaur eggs, I probably wouldn't have said more than 200. But now I'm starting to think it's a 1-to-1.
1-to-1.
Yeah, I'll go with that. 1-to-1 comparison, I think that there are 200 eggs in this display collection. So one egg cluster is my answer.
Final answer.
Yes, final answer.
The correct answer was 50 egg clusters.
They're making that up.
No, the collection has 10,008 individual samples.
No. 98% of those are fake. They're just plastic.
It is China.
Yeah.
We who knows?
They're made out of socialist propaganda. It's just a bunch of Mao posters.
It's just a bunch of terracotta.
It's a bunch of Mao propaganda posters from the 60s that have solidified
They use those to paper mache some eggs.
Yes. And it's just so they can say they have the world's largest collection of dinosaur eggs.
Perhaps indeed. Let's get into this. You ready to hear some fast facts? Some real fast facts?
Yeah.
Lightning fast
instead of
facts.
the fake ones that you have been feeding us this whole time.
Wheel bugs are found in Central and North America. They can be as high as Canada and as low as Guatemala. Or high and low is relative in space and on a globe.
As north and as
north
south.
And south.
Yes, there you go.
As far as the east is from the west. They're segmented what did you say? Proboscises. They're segmented proboscises fold up normally, but it unfolds forward like an eldritch horror straw whenever it needs it.
That is definitely of all of H.P. Lovecraft's works, that one has to be my favorite. Eldritch horror straw.
Wheel bugs walk and fly very slowly, so their brown, black, and tan coloration help keep them at a low profile. It has scent glands from which it can shoot stinky scent. So spray month continues. It's not as potent as stink bugs stink, but humans can detect it, so it's powerful enough for that. They are fairly aggressive, and when they cannibalize each other, and they often cannibalize each other when it's necessary, which is not that uncommon in the animal kingdom.
Definitely not in the insect kingdom.
For sure.
It sucks to be an insect.
They have no qualms about it.
Yes.
The morality of insects
is non-existent.
Is thin.
There's no social moral consensus or Bible for them to go by, so they don't have either side of the moral spectrum to work with. They just eat and die.
There's nothing written on their hearts at all.
No, or on the doorposts.
No.
Or as frontlets for their eyes.
or on the walls.
Whatever a frontlet is.
When they can use their fell beaks to rub their thorax to stridulate, which is the worst sentence. But it doesn't actually mean anything very bad. It just means they rub two things together like crickets do to make a chirping or clicking sound. We don't know why they do that. We don't know why they make those sounds. Perhaps to communicate, perhaps just to be horrible.
I don't think they're just walking around going, I don't think I'm annoying enough.
It's not annoying.
I feel like I'm like dangerous and aggressive, but people don't know that. So I need more people to know that. I could start a Twitter account, or I could just make noise.
Yeah. Exactly. When they hatch, they are black and red in their nymph stage, which kind of looks like a black widow spider. I don't know if that's intentional mimicry or it seems to look like that to me. Like, not a lot, but enough for a bug to trick a bug.
The nymphs are pretty aggressive as well.
Yeah, they'll eat each other's without even thinking about it. They'll molt 5 times before reaching the adult stage, with around 18 days between molts, with the 5th and final molt being the longest.
As 5th molts tend to be.
Yeah. It's like the 5th grade. It's the hardest grade.
It's the longest and also...
in elementary school.
Yeah.
Before you reach middle school adult stage.
You have to shed your skin.
Yeah.
It's horrifying.
But that's all I got for that.
They also engage in some tried and true sexual cannibalism.
Yep. Females eat the males.
It's just... It's a wonderful world they've built together. Are you ready for the major fact?
I sure am.
This is called Agent 47 Things I Hate About You. Agent 47.
Agent 47
is the name of the bald hitman from the Hitman series.
Yes.
Which
I've never played, but I do. That does strike a memory in my mind.
Anyway, Agent 47's on the case. Assassin bugs are so named. So we're not just talking about the wheel bug. We're talking about assassin bugs.
They're incredibly named.
They are incredibly named. Because they are incredibly efficient and brutal when it comes to killing things.
Mm.
They're predators, primarily eat other bugs, actually exclusively eat other bugs. And so what they'll do, especially the big ones, is they will just walk up and grasp their prey with their long hair-covered legs. I mean, it's not actual hair, like it's not mammal hair. It's part of...
Chitinous?
Yeah, chitinous. I always get that mixed up with keratinous. But keratinous is from keratin, and that is hair. That's actual hair. So that's mammalian. But chitinous, that's... chitin is the... Or chitin. However you want to pronounce that. That's the material that insect carapaces tend to be made out of. And, like... a lot of mollusks and crustaceans. But anyway, the assassin bug has these chitinous hairs that help trap the prey, kind of like the way the praying mantis has kind of the reverse hooks that keep the prey from escaping once it's got it in its just penitent embrace. So once they've got him, once the assassin bug has its prey, it will proceed to stab it with its, what did you call it? Eldritch horror straw? Yeah.
Or fell beak.
Fell beak. Doesn't the Witch King of Agmar ride the fell beak?
Close.
So yeah, they'll take their proboscis and they'll stab it through the carapace of the unfortunate other bug or insect, and through the proboscis they'll inject their saliva. They'll just spit inside of another bug. which would seem like, okay, yeah, whatever. That's sounds unpleasant, but not fatal. Well, it is from an assassin bug, because it's not just spit. Their spit is filled to the brim with digestive enzymes. And so those enzymes go with the saliva through the proboscis into the soft tissue and organs that are nestled so safely in
under their trees.
We just saw that movie too. This whole week, Bibby has been doing like, wow, this is the belt. It's really cool. So I've just been like, at first it threw me for a loop because I didn't grow up with Jingle All the Way, and I'm not that big of a fan of the movie because it doesn't have any nostalgic value for me. So I was like, what are you doing? I was like, oh, he's doing an Arnold impression. I see.
But go get on.
Anyway. The digestive enzymes go into the soft tissue and organs in the unfortunate bug, and they break it down. So essentially turning it into a delicious Kinder Egg surprise smoothie.
Oh.
Those Kinder Eggs
Delicious.
that don't have prizes or like Flintstones vitamins inside, but the ones that have like or like a Cadbury egg, I guess you could call it.
Yeah, Cadbury with a toothpaste inside.
Yeah. It tastes a lot better than toothpaste. But I'm still not that much of a fan. But yeah, so needless to say, the bug is dead. But then it can just kind of slurp it out. Slurp up that good bug goo. With the very same horror death straw that it's that's already there doing work. I think we've mentioned it before, but if this sounds familiar to you, it's because this is what spiders do. Most spiders, their venom is injected into. It's not saliva, but their venom their venom is injected in the prey to kill or immobilize it, and then they spit their digestive juices into the bug and then slurp it up.
They drink your bug shake?
Like they have I have a proboscis that goes across the room and drinks your bug shake. I drink your bug shake. I drink it up.
The best part of that movie. You watched that movie before that part.
What a weird scene.
It's not weird. That's not the weird scene.
I mean, there's lots of weird scenes, but that's just such a weird way. Like, it is weird. Like, I get the analogy, but like the way it's portrayed is just so.
Why is he so mad?
So bonkers.
He's dunking on the guy, but he's mad.
Yeah. Oh man, it's probably been 10 years since I've seen that movie. There Will Be Blood. There we go. I don't want to. I'm not sure when we make these references if we should just let them be and let people just be like, "What the heck are they talking about?" and us feel all cool, or if we should just lay it out, just be like, "That was that reference."
Yeah, I feel like it's more frustrating for people that don't like. They can recognize it, but they don't remember the movie. Mm-hmm. To not know what it is than it is for people that know it not to have a nice little secret present.
So we'll stretch it out so that gives people time to think about it and guess, and for people to feel satisfied that they figured it out, and then we reveal it. There will be blood. Gotcha. So yeah, that's their hunting strategy. It's usually just for spiders. Very, very uncommon in insects. And also very, very effective, turns out. And because they're so effective, assassin bugs are, and because they also, a lot of their prey is usually like a household pest, People actually tend to want assassin bugs in their house because they don't really
In their
in their
house.
Yes, they don't. They don't. Most assassin bugs don't pose any sort of problem or threat to humans.
But they make a buzz sound when they fly, and they make a clicking, chirping sound when they stridulate. You don't want that in your house.
Maybe some of them don't. There's thousands of species of these guys. So they're bred specifically to kill and eat particular pests. So if you've got millipedes, there's an assassin bug for that.
But that's still like imagine if cockroaches didn't eat your food. Would you want one in your house anyway? No.
Well, there's a lot of
No.
a lot of people will say like don't kill spiders unless you're sure that they're venomous.
Yeah.
Because they're killing the pests in your house. And
Yeah, I don't kill spiders. Johanna wants me to.
Yeah, if it's a web spider and it's like way up in a corner, fine, I guess. But if it's not a web spider, it's like a roaming, walking spider. You're dead or out of my house.
No, I there's like those jumping spiders, those very small jumping spiders.
Oh, up here in Jacksonville, we have these wolf spiders.
Oof.
That are like the size of a poker chip, and they have girth. And they move really fast.
Ooh, that's not good. Not a good combination.
They'll just be sitting there, and I'll let my dog out, and he'll think it's like a leaf or something, and then it'll move, and he'll just like almost do a backflip. They're unacceptable to have in the house.
I certainly don't kill lizards.
No.
Although Johanna hates them the most.
Really?
But they're only useful.
But geckos are the best.
The one killed itself by eating from our roach traps. So that was a sad moment. Find a lizard's back half just sticking out of a roach motel.
Yeah, it's double sad because like this useful bug killer is dead, and also there's less. There isn't a roach in here. I wish there was a dead roach in here. Not only is there not a dead roach, but there's a dead gecko. And how am I supposed to get my 15% or more off of car insurance now?
It's really like you're here to eat the bugs, but you're eating the stuff that I'm using to kill the bugs. You're doing the opposite of what you're supposed to be doing.
Your jobs are overlapping here. But anyway, yeah. So people breed assassin bugs to live in their house and to kill their pests. This is particularly in like India and stuff like that. The wheel bug lives in North America. People in North America don't tend to breed bugs as a pesticide, but it is a relatively common practice in India. And there's one species in Australia that has large feathery tufts on the back of its hind legs. And so it'll just walk around and wait for ants to bite and get stuck in its tufts and then just give them the old stab and slurp.
Huh.
And then there are other assassin bugs that are not predatory. They are blood-sucking parasites.
No.
And people tend to be less.
I won't allow it.
Tend to be a little bit less fond of these guys. If you've ever heard of kissing bugs, for example,
Henry Kissing Bugs.
Yeah, one of the most skilled insect diplomats of his time. But get this: the kissing bugs like to crawl onto your face while you're sleeping and suck the blood out of your lips.
It's a reverse Botox.
That's a kissing bug. Yeah, it also injects toxins into
Oh, it is.
So it's actual Botox. It's just botulism toxin. It's an assassin bug toxin. And I'm not gonna abbreviate that.
I hate that.
That's the worst.
Where does that live?
Here. Apparently.
California mom bitten by kissing bugs.
Yeah, and also
warns others about danger of silent killer.
Also in the what? It's not a. I guess if unless you're allergic to them, I don't think that it's lethal to humans. Getting bit by one of these guys is apparently very painful, and it takes days to subside. So
it was super itchy for like 2 or 3 weeks. Wow.
So the article calls it a silent killer, and the complaint is that it was super itchy for a few weeks.
A silent killer parasitic disease.
Okay, so yeah, because they do suck blood and then go to someone else and do the same thing, they do have a tendency to spread disease just like mosquitoes do. So yeah, in that case, a silent killer. The bite itself, not so deadly. Yeah, so that's all I got.
That's all I got.
All right, so for you out there in Podcastia, pick your target, wield your proboscis well, and make sure your spit is full of enzymes like the assassin bug here in Life, Death, and Taxonomy.
Hey Taxonomy Titans, I just want to remind you that we now have a Patreon. Patrons can see full video episodes and get shoutouts on the show. But ultimately, it's a way for you to help us cover some costs and get even better. Still, reviews are the best way to help us grow. So if you haven't left one yet, we'd really love to hear from you. As always, thanks for listening and engaging.
Life, Death, and Taxonomy is my favorite in the world podcast.
Our spit does have some enzymes in it, doesn't it?
Make sure
Like that
it's
breakdown.
full.
Oh. Chock full of enzymes.
Full of enzymes.